And here, although you see that they are actually originating from the lumbar part, however, it's not lumborum, it's actually the thoracic cervicis, and you have the capitis as well. So this is longissimus thoracis, longissimus cervicis, and longissimus capitis. Excuse me. Now, one of the distinctions that you actually can distinguish this is that this muscle is like a hot dog, actually. It's like the sausage in the hot dog. It's covered inferiorly and superiorly by these two muscles, the splenius capitis and semispinalis capitis. So it's just a little bit, it's in between these two muscles, a little bit located laterally, as you can see. So that brings me actually to the third group of muscles, which is the splenius cervicis. You can see splenius cervicis and splenius capitis. Splenius cervicis actually, although it's called cervicis, it is originating from the thoracic vertebra, so it's really in the thoracic part. And just want to call them again, because this guy came and he looked at it and said that he just never came and asked what is the problem. Okay. So these muscles are collectively involved in the erect posture of the body, movement of the body. If one side is contracting, it is actually flexing the body. And if both sides are contracting, usually they actually lift and extend the vertebrae. So there are several functions. And collectively, these are innervated by dorsal rami. So dorsal ramus and dorsal rami are the nerve. You remember that I showed you yesterday the nerve coming out, the intervertebral foramen. We have the nerve that they come out of each intervertebral foramen on each side. And we have the dorsal root ganglion. But connected to that, we have a dorsal root and a ventral root, and this is the dorsal root ganglion. And then this is the nerve, spinal nerve, which goes out. Imagine that this is coming from the spinal cord. Now, this nerve, after coming out, it actually divides as well. And part of it goes to the back, part of it comes to the front, because it has to actually innervate the back and the front as well. The one which goes to the back is called dorsal ramus. And this dorsal ramus contains both motor and sensory fibers. Motor is to the muscles, sensory to the skin, to the other tissue, or even to the muscles as well. So when you hear dorsal root and dorsal ramus, these are different. Dorsal root is sensory, but dorsal ramus or rami, when there are multiple, these are both motor and sensory nerves mixed together. That they go to the skin of the back, to the muscles of the back, and so on. So we don't specific. So these are actually hybrid muscles. When a muscle has more than one innervation, we call this a hybrid muscle. And it would be nice as we go on to know those hybrid muscles, because not memorize those, but to be able really to recognize those. But of course, then you have to memorize this. But I mean that don't put them in the in chart or something. and just memorize them. Try to understand and then memorize. In medicine, medicine is memorization and memorization and memorization. However, first you have to understand. If you don't understand the material and you want to just memorize like this, that is not good. If you understand and you don't memorize it, a doctor, when you go to the hospital, me or somebody else, they wake us up in the middle of the night, and we don't know the disease, that's not good. You have to be always prepared. So it means that you're learning and then memorizing it. So first learn and then memorize. Then, as you can see, we come to the deeper muscles, as well as the more medial group, which is one of these is the semi-spinalis. This is the splenius, this is now semi-spinalis capitis. So, on the medial group, we have the most important ones are these semi-spinalis cervicis and capitis. So these are here, semi-spinalis cervicis and capitis, number 12 and 11. However, there are other muscles as well. For example, these are the spinalis. Spinalis, we have the thoracis and cervicis, and also in some people we have spinalis capitis. So spinalis is actually on the top of the spinous processes. Some are not in favor of spinalis capitis, but it might be seen in some people. So we have spinalis capitis as well. And then we have some deeper muscles, like these are called the multifidus or multifidus in Latin. And these are very well developed. You see, especially on the lower parts, these are very well developed. And then deeper to these, we have these other muscles. These are the rotators, brevis and longus, thoracis, and in other regions as well. So these are some deeper muscles, multifidus and the rotators. The rotators are the deepest muscles. And you can see these are connected to the vertebrae and the transverse processes and so on. But these spinalis ones are over the spinous processes. But the most important of these, of this deeper group or medial group, is actually the semi-spinalis cervicis and capitis. And as we discussed, all these are innervated by the primary dorsal lemma. Okay, so this is a picture of the muscles of the back, and this is the accessory nerve. You see, the accessory nerve actually is coming from here. We'll see jugular foramen, and actually is where it exits the skull together with cranial nerve 9 and 10, and then it comes towards the lateral side. It innervates this sternocleidomastoid muscle, and also then comes to the back and innervates the trapezius muscle. You see, the trapezius has been just cut and folded. So you see the rhomboids minor and major, levator scapula or scapula, the assissimus dorsi, all these muscles, and then the erector spinae muscle are actually covered by this thoracolumbar fascia. And this fascia, I think I showed you the other day. This is the thoracolumbar fascia actually that covers those muscles. Okay, again here is a drawing of the erector spinae muscle, and you can go over those. It's very similar. These are the splenius and the semi-spinalis, the iliocostalis and longissimus are very clear, and you have the spinalis as well. Okay. Now, when we come to the very deep region behind the occipital bone, right in the neck, you see, it is actually here, but very deep.